Hi there, welcome back to Sending Ravens. I'm continuing my work, trying to work my way through many countries in the world. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, so forgive me, but I'll do what I can. Tonight I want to look at Ireland and Scotland. So we're going to start with Scotland. Let's have a look around Scotland, around deep state activity, how infested, what's their government, is the Alliance, otherwise known as the White Hats. According to me, they're known as the White Hats. Are they in the area cleaning things out? How much activity is going on as far as clearing out deep state dark cult? Okay, so this is, I think, number 6 now in this series. Okay, great. So let's see what we got. Well, we've got the 3 of Swords in the past, so absolutely was some dark activity and hurtful activity and things that would have hurt humans. Okay, so that's interesting. That's my deep state dark cult kind of card there. And we've got the Queen of Wands with that card underneath. So some really powerful people, in particular women and or a woman in Scotland who is a very much a very, very big head of the deep state dark cult. Well, I put those two together because I think somehow they're sort of one in the same. I mean, maybe not, maybe they're not so much, but I feel like the deep state is just a continuation of, so dark cult sort of invented the deep state. That's just the way I feel about it. So that's why I say it like that. So if you're wondering, and whoever that woman is, there's a very powerful woman who's a very big head of, let's say, the dark cult. And that person is in Scotland or has been known to be in Scotland, but it feels like it's very much been being cleared out and cleaned out from what I'm getting, because we've got the Death card and we have this Success card. So like that card is about a victory. And of course, because we're asking, so we, the viewers and myself, what we would consider a victory, because it's whoever's asking the question who would find it a victory. That's how I read the cards, right? So the victory, because this is the question itself, so this is what's going on with the question. The question was, how much dark cult deep state activity? So yes, there is, but it's being eradicated, because the Death card is slowly but surely something is being, is dying, a slow, painful death. And we have noticed that, obviously something that took eons to create itself and infest itself, like the dark cult and sort of like these Canaanite energies, families, and people that align with that dark, cult behavior. And as Juan O'Savin points out, likely came from, or believed that they came from a line called the Canaanites. So look that up, okay? Sort of a ancient, history or story about Cain and Abel, So look that up when you got a minute, but if you haven't already. But that Death card says obviously that's going to take a long time, but it's very much on its way out of Scotland. Absolutely. And we've got that 2 of, so it was the most difficult part was this very powerful woman who looks like a very big player and one of the main players. So one of the main players, a woman, and from Scotland. I wonder if that's Somerset Belanoff. Right? We know she lived in Scotland and we don't think she's around anymore, or I get the feeling she's off planet, which this looks like. So she's off either, you know, my personal opinion about that energy they call Belanoff, Somerset Belanoff, and why she's so mysterious is because she like uses physical bodies to channel. So demonic energies channeled over lifetimes. So she's been many, or maybe been she's, but this lifetime, you know, housed in the body of a person known as Somerset Belanoff. And that's what I believe. So that entity, and that's what an odd child that person was. Even as a young child, the story is that child was very, very like wise, but not in a nice way. Do you know what I mean? Like way beyond their years, and was saying really sassy things about the devil basically is the least of everybody's problems. Basically, the devil was like a joke to that entity. So the entity considers itself more powerful than the devil or Satan. One of the stories, and I can't remember exactly how it went, but Somerset, when she was a young girl, some of the stories are that she found these hidden places in the D.U.M.B.S castle where apparently she grew up. So the story is. Right? But there's so much mystery around her character that some people even don't believe she's a true energy. But I think she's actually she channels like, or that demonic energy channeled through a person known as Somerset Belanoff. And that's just one of the energies it could channel through. That's my opinion. That's a powerful demonic energy. And I don't believe is on the earth plane anymore. My feeling is they're gone. Okay, so that's just what I get. But was once known so Somerset Belanoff as a young girl was known to play chess and or games, board games, with what she would describe as she was playing with some demon or devil, and in these hidden corridors and rooms that nobody else even knew were in this castle that she grew up in. So this is just some of the, could be folklore, could be, who knows, right? But that's what I was reading up on, and it sounded fascinating. So I think this powerful female energy is someone that channels that demon. So I don't think they're human at all, really. They just present as a human. I'll just say it that way. Yeah. Anyway, that entity is gone out of Scotland, and Scotland has been very cleared out and or is on the way to being. And I would even say in the next 10 months could even be like as clear as anybody could really be of that kind of energy that's been around since the beginning of time. So I believe that alliance is working hard there. Let's have a look at the government in Scotland and just see just how infested is the government with deep state, and how sold out are they, and is the alliance in any way in charge, or what we've been finding is they're in charge all over the world, but we don't know. We haven't looked at Scotland yet, so let's have a look. So we've got the Two of Wands describing the government. The Two of Wands staying safely somewhere watching. I think the government and the governing body of Scotland and I don't know anything about it, by the way, nothing. I've never looked into government in Scotland, but then I don't look into government really literally anywhere. I've been looking into it specifically in the United States, but that's because I believe it's going to play a big role in domino effect, clearing out the deep state dark cult. So not because I'm interested in politics, because unfortunately I'm not that interested in politics, but it's obviously that's the big control factor that the deep state dark cult infested itself into everybody's government all over the world. And of course, big pharma was probably created by deep state, literally. And everything to do with education systems completely infested. And, you know what I mean? Catholic Church, my goodness. Some people are saying was created as a psyop to traffic humans, in particular children, and get close to and control people. And that makes a lot of sense. If you really look at the history of the church, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot more dark history to the church than good that it does. And if you doubt that, look into it. Look into the history of the church, what it did. And all churches, like all organized religions that have too much dogma, right away it's control, and it has nothing to do with spirituality. And that's just my opinion. Okay. But anyway, okay. And we know that most governments have this infiltration of, but it feels like they've got to a safe place. So they've got to a safe place, the government in Scotland. So what does that mean? You've got to a safe place. So they're watching what's going on in the world and recognizing something's been said. So they're in communication, because we asked about the alliance. Are the alliance involved? I feel like they've been served the riot act, and they're being watched. So the feeling I'm getting is that the government in Scotland is being watched, looked at closely with that ace there. They've been served the riot act. There's been some really situations that have been really big, murky, mucky cover-ups here. So energetically, the Queen of Cups can be really murky, mucky, and boundaries. She doesn't have enough boundaries. So certainly it's been infiltrated by deep state, dark cult, absolutely, right? And she can be very swayed emotionally. So they likely have, so dark cult, deep state probably got in there by the way that they get in everywhere, which is getting really nasty footage on these people. So inviting them to parties, inviting them to events, and then, well, there's all kinds of things, but enticing them with their flavor of depravity, really. And then if they can't get them that way, apparently they drug them at some of those parties and then get them in compromised positions with children and all kinds of heinous things, and then photograph and film. So like that is a known tactic of the deep state and how they get these people under their thumb. Right? And then those people don't want their families to see those pictures or film footage, and sometimes they bribe them with monies, and if they can't get them that way, they they go down the line with different disgusting sort of techniques, tactics to get these people under their thumb. So yes, some people absolutely there's but I'm not getting I'm getting there's some really good people in the Scottish government as well. So I'm going to say half and half here, and they're being watched. They've been served, sort of. There's indictments against some of them for sure with that big ace in the middle, but less than some places. There's still some really good players here that were not swayed by these tactics and are standing for the good of the people. So there's some really good people as well. I'm going to say we got a half and half situation here. Yeah, temperance. So temperance is like a 50-50. And I feel like some of them are not known to the alliance, whether they're on the good or the bad side, and they're watching carefully, and they're still investigating some of these people. So that's interesting. Wow. So Scotland, you're actually getting a better report card than most of the rest of the world so far. Except, where was it? Like Norway, was it? I can't remember, but yeah, somewhere it was really good. I think it was Norway, but I can't remember. I'm doing so many countries, I'm all confused. Okay, let's have a look at Ireland. Time to look at Ireland. I got a lot of Irish viewers, and they write me and they really want to look at their place. So let's look at just in general first, and then we'll get into kind of nitty gritties about the government. So in general, deep state, dark cult infestation, we're calling it. How bad is it in Ireland? And tunnels and sort of activities that go on related. So that's a big yes. Yes, yes there is, and yes there has been. Yeah, and we've got a powerful woman again. We've got a man, I'm telling you, you know, this is not just, you know, when you think about that P word, that crimes against, in particular, children happen, okay, you often, you know, what conjures up in your imagination is men, but I'm telling you, women. So the dark cult is absolutely, and so they say even the very head rulers are women, which is unbelievable, but true. Not only, obviously, there's men and women all the way through it, but really big players are women, and powerful and bad, and very bad. Okay, so a lot of indictments and or dirt on a lot of people, whether they're in government or not in government, but a lot on people in Ireland. So Ireland has a lot of people that are going to be going the way of, you know, it's not just, I know it's not just Gitmo that they're taking them to, but taking them, and they're going to be in those tribunals. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of activity here in Ireland. I know Ireland isn't the biggest place. I mean, is it bigger than Scotland? I'd have to look on the map again. And I know there's two parts to Ireland, right? So I know there's, you know, different areas in Ireland that are connected to the rest of the UK, and then there's a part that isn't, you know. So correct me in the comments exactly what I'm getting there, but you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not that technically oriented to describe it, but forgive me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. So I do know those things about Ireland anyway, but it looks like, because we're going to be generalizing, that Ireland has a lot of deep state dark cult, okay, and it's being watched and looked at and routed out by the look of it here. A lot of people are going to go the way of what I believe happened to, I'm not going to call him a Prince Philip, you know, watch my other videos on the royals and what I believe the senior royals all went the way of. So that's my death card. Okay, so a lot of people are going off the earth plane because of their activity and because of the infested sort of situation here. A lot of bad actors in Ireland, you better believe it. And we've got this King of Swords here. Justice is coming though to Ireland, by the way, and to all the world, by the way. And there's people already in place, it looks like, in Ireland that are really making sure these people are not doing what they used to do. In fact, it looks like somebody's there in charge who's in the background. So I feel like there's a shadow governing Ireland that is not who you think is. Like, so the Irish government is not in charge. That's what I'm getting. There's another bunch in charge. And it feels like Ireland's going to go the way of a lot of places and become independent of the way it's governed now entirely, and is going to go back to a common law. I feel like that's already in progress for Ireland, so that's interesting. And we've got that Knight of Swords. It feels like the military are actually in charge, or there's a military quietly in the background, keeping an eye on the politicians that are known to be deep state dark cult, and it's being cleared up. And it looks like it's being, so it's kind of answering two questions here because there's a lot going on here. It looks like with that Knight of Swords, yeah, there's this undercurrent of military. I feel like that's the alliance because they're on the good side of this, right? And it feels like they're strongly really in control in the background, but it's not known to the general public. And, you know, I really hope it becomes known really, really soon. So yeah, there's a lot of activity, you know, and bad activity going on. Let's see what I get around the government. You know, we got a lot about the government. Let's see how cleaned out it is. So we've got the idea that actually that almost went towards talking about the government more than what I was really getting at, which is how cleaned out are the D.U.M.B.S here? How cleaned out for the bad activity, the nefarious activity? How cleaned out is it? Let's have a look. So there's my alliance card. That's been coming up as my alliance card in this sort of series. And for quite a while now, this has become the alliance card. So there's absolutely, they've started cleaning it out, but they ran into a glitch. So there's some kind of glitch that, or a holdup. Fives are holdups and temporary setbacks. So they've hit some setbacks and they're going to have to regroup and go back in here. It feels like something's physically blocking them from being, they had to leave. So they went in, they were clearing things out, and it looks like they had to leave the activity. So if you haven't heard it for a few months, that might be why, and they're gonna go back in again. So they had to let it go for a while. So we've got the 6 and the 10. 6 and the 10. Okay, so I feel like by June they're back there finishing up what they still have to do. So I'm getting June, they go back in and really route out some activity. And I don't know why they had to step away, it's not really telling me, but they ran into some issues. And I'm getting the feeling, when I feel it, it has something to do with a powerful landowner that's blocking them from getting at some of these D.U.M.B.S. And I don't know, maybe they don't have enough on that landowner to, you know, muscle in there. I don't know. But somebody with a lot of land is blocking the activity, or actually set them back, but they're going to go back in, and you should hear or see activity again by June, or it gets cleared out by June is another way I could read that. So they got some more work to do here in Ireland. They had some setbacks, but they're absolutely working their way through Ireland. Oh my goodness. You know, I really want to meet some of these alliance white hats. I really do. And if any of them want to get a hold of me, I just want to say thank you, you know, truly, and send you ravens. And I send them ravens every single day. That's my way of sending energy, positive energy, and good, you know, intentions towards their work they're doing is beyond, you know, fathomable, really. And I have utter respect for them. Thank you so much for watching my video, and do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.